Now this is known, I mean, Liddoy, Elul, but there's another Rosh Hashanah of Elul, which is not too commonly known or not too commonly practiced. Also, it gives me a Kodesh. Megillus Esther, Ish Lerayehu, U'matanis Lerayehu, Ben Odom L'Chavero, Ani Liddoy V'Doy Yalid Ben Odom L'Mokem, Ish Lerayehu, U'matanis Lerayehu, an equal Elul to be practiced is Ben Odom L'Chavero. Where else do we find that there's a dinyan mamish between the Ben Odom L'Chavero and the Ben Odom L'Mokem? Moshe Rabbeinu came down Mount Sinai twice with Shnei Luchos Avonim. The first ones were broken. The second time, the Luchos Akayim. The second time, Luchos Shnias came down with Shnei Luchos Avonim. I think Amir Shiloh, why was there a need to put the Aseret HaDibros on two luchos? Why couldn't they all be written on one luach? Aseret HaDibros together. Why always, the first time, the second time, Shnei Luchos Avonim? I would think if all the Aseret HaDibros would be written on one luach, as we know, the first 5 dibros deal with Ben Odom L'Mokem. The second 5, Ben Odom L'Chavero. If you would have all the Aseret HaDibros on one luach, first the first 5 Ben Odom L'Mokem, and then the second 5 Ben Odom L'Chavero, somebody might begin to think, well, then obviously the first 5, which is Ben Odom L'Mokem, is more choshev than the second one, which is Ben Odom L'Chavero. Therefore, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave Moshe Rabbeinu twice Shnei Luchos. The second 5, which deal with the 5 Ben Odom L'Chavero, is on a whole luach exactly just like the first 5, which deal with Ben Odom L'Mokem. You should know that they're equal. The Ben Odom L'Chavero and the same chashivas and the Ben Odom L'Mokem. And as a whole luach. And I found the Rashi, Tavshas Egev, in the Torah it says luchos a few times. Sometimes it's spelled Lamed Vav Ches Vav Tov, and sometimes it's spelled Lamed Vav Ches Tov, right, the second Vav, which the Creed is luchos, but the Ksiv is luchas, the Lashon Yochid. Rashi is aware of this. What is the luchas? 1. Says Rashi, the Tavshas Ekev, luchas ksiv, sheshteihem shovers. Again, just yesod. Shteihem shovers, you should know that the 5 which deals with the Odom L'Chavero have the same equality, same chashivas, like the first 5, which deal with the Odom L'Mokem. That's why there were 2 luchos and Shtei Shovos. One was not bigger than the other. They were exactly the same. Only on this Choshev Yesod, this is Avodah of Elul, Shuvah Elai, the Ben Odom L'Mokem that we might have to do tshuva for, and the Ben Odom L'Chavero. I had, when I was a Docha in Yeshiva Bacha in Kanavish, a few years back, the main Rosh Yeshiva was Shmuel Wazowski, I remember the father once met him when he was walking to Yeshiva. The father had a son in the Yeshiva, he asked the shmuel to do a table. He had an envelope, I guess, with some money that he wants to give to his bocha that's in the yeshiva. Yeah, the shmuel took it. And instead of asking a bocha to deliver it, he was asked by the father to do a shlichus of giving the envelope. He came to the yeshiva. He waited for Ben Ador, found out where the room of that bocha is, and he goes to the room to deliver the letter. And before he enters the room, he takes off his shoes. Someone asked him, why are you taking off your shoes? He said, listen, it's Benas Doran, and it's sometimes Benas Doran, a bocha or a bocha in the room take a nap. If I walk in with my shoes, it might make a little noise and disturb somebody in their sleep. So he took off his shoes in order to deliver the letter to the bocha. Huh? Not too common now. But again, we have Baruch Hashem from people from the Bacher, from the Migdolite, and we're very miser in the Benadam Mamakans. But here we learned in a few Masholim that the Benadam לחבירו is just as equal. Shtei Luchas, exactly the same. Shtei Misholim. Nizer in the Benadam לחבירו. Some about Bacher in dormitories and sitting in this medrash, and you take out a sefer or a Gemara from the bookshelf. You use it fine, and I would say maybe unfortunately, after you finish, you leave it where it is. But somebody else might need that same Gemara, that same sefer, whatever. You finish using it, put it back. Yeah? So another bacher shouldn't be wasting time looking for that sefer that he needs, that you were using. These are all things that we should be thinking about and practicing. And again, with this yesod, the Benadam לחבירו has the same chashivas as the Benadam Mamakans. Yeah? And someday you all will probably be big Rosh Yeshivas. And another important thing that I learned from my rebbeim, which was up here at Shah, is that they finished the shir on time. Because after the shir, it was supper time. Well, you might be hungry, yeah, for the big food that we had there. Yeah? So, again, even Rosh Yeshivas should be in the minute, לחבירו. Yeah? Let me, if so, conclude. David HaMelech